What's going on, guys? Brandon from BYND Trading. I'll do a little market recap here. It's the 13th August, setting up here for a nice little Tuesday here. As some glorious Trump tweets come flying in at the perfect time. This is the SPY we're taking a peek at, and the 200 EMA having a pullback from the 50 right to the weekly level here. 287.60s is what we were watching for that bounce. Then we had a secret little ghost level at 289 for recovery and squeeze to the upside. Seen a lot of channels, a lot of people praising the downside of the market, the yields and recession, and I don't know if you know anything about our government, but that's not how it works. So a couple of just releases saying we talked with China, kicked the algorithms on, everything floated right up, right to our golden level of before, and recovery of our 292.40s weekly level. So really nice switch in bias this morning. Had a really nice split walkthrough there of our other weekly level 290.40. So I know all these levels are very, very prominent. I'm doing very nice here so far. So let's go over some of the trade plan from today. This is the 13th, posted at 7:32 hour before market open on my time here. And we'll go through some of these trade plans here. You can check over all those notes if you want to. So Roku, right from the top there. Extra letter. Roku right from the top. Yesterday's high long. As long as it holds up, take it long. I was targeting maybe 140 to 145 range. Pretty easy to get on Roku there. So 100 EMA, as Roku always respects, held it really long. I got in super early, second minute candle right at the pre-market bubble here. A couple hundred shares on a scalp, pushed it up, covered half right away, and then as the third candle kind of progressed here at another high, covered another 50, let 50 ride for a little bit longer there, capitalizing it pretty nice. But right from the daily stack, we're watching over yesterday's highs. Over under is 135.50. If it decides to dip down into this, that's a heavy support range if it decides to fail yesterday's highs. But that was what's on watch. Very nice there. Trade plan yesterday for Facebook was the resistance short of 187.50, and then you would target 184.40s. Now, Trump tweet obviously here, and White House tweets and representative tweets, etc., kind of screwed up a lot of the trade plan of the day, but we swap bias, and I'll go over a couple of the other plays we called live. So the 184.40s weekly resistance on deck for today, watching for yesterday's lows break, and we could get way down. But, watching for that tweet, this was our under-over level, the weekly level. Obviously got way strong there early and recovered that level, so we used it as a long play. A couple really nice long moves all the way up to the 190 for the target there. So hit the weekly and daily resistance here. Now we're just chopping sideways, waiting for those EMAs to catch back up. Watching it as we go. Shopify on the daily, we had a couple really good plays on this one. We had some doji levels to work off of course, on this guy, and you see the blue line there, and then our top from the over under a couple trade day ago, top on that daily candle. That's what we did on the bounce play. I did catch the first scalp move into this level right here, so it broke this level and had a big panic candle. I just bought that blind dip right into the 357.50s and covered right back up into that big squeeze. So I actually scalped a really nice 2+ point mover there for like 250 some bucks. Blind dip buys are a big part of the major support system on down ticks like this, and we're getting real extended, we're getting real panic, so that one real big snap to the downside usually gets picked back up by us. And of course we had the fail of the doji level. From the notes it says the doji levels here play accordingly. That's the 366. So if you were to play accordingly, we had a bouncing ball short set up and snapped it. A lot of guys took this short all the way down to this level where I longed it, so really nice trade from the plan of attack there. Didn't screw up too much stuff. JD's ER level was pretty simple. Right from the plan of attack, ER play, if it can stay above 28.80, should magnet 30 today. That was the trade plan. Daily notes, post an hour before open. Here's the level I was watching. The 28.80 came back up, recovered, held VWAP 50, and then magneted right to 30, right to the penny. Weird. So nice little play there. Baba, this was the main watch today. The one I didn't get to trade actually, because I was in a couple other ones. This was one of the heavier watches though. Baba 15's ER. Really odd ghost wick from after hours, and it held 156 support from yesterday. The 156 support was a hold we were watching for to go long for a potential swing. Clearly had a really nice opening up day in there, and then helping us with the Trump tweets, etc., into today. Our target long actually was the hold of 156, and then moving to 161. And then long target goal 162.30. So again, right from the daily notes there on Baba, major resistance on weekly 162.30s. And because of those tweets, we had a very monster squeeze there. So of course, We had the long, had the 100 EMA as it always holds, pushes, hits that weekly, ramps back up. Said, well, if it peaks that weekly, it's going to squeeze real big. We're going to start targeting 165 after that. So it came back down, held the weekly, waited for confirmation of strength, squeezed right back up. Martin targeted right to the 165. So this thing had 5+ points on it today. Fantastic call from the daily notes. A couple of guys smashed that one out of the park. AMD 3270 over under on the weekly again. So we gapped down. We had an over under level yesterday from the trade notes. Right here, so over or under this level. So he came back down, had a long into that level, had a couple people long in that, potential cup and handle, failed, broke down, lost the 200. So we're like, okay, here's the weakness level, came back down, hit our level, and then all it did was consolidate into a super weak volume beating, easy elite system here in Boiler and Trade, and play that, and then smashed all the way down to the target. First is the weekly, and this was the secondary. Today is another short day on AMD. I have a lot of guys riding puts on this beast right now, over under 3270 weekly level. All you had to do is wait for the confirmation, broke that weekly level, consolidation, bearish, had a ton of seller volume, and now it's working out. It's going to micro M too. So we're looking for this to get under the 3230 for the guys here and head back down to that split and capitalize on some nice action there. Beyond Meats. This was a nice scalp here. I got stopped out of my first blind dip buy, and I was really sad about it because I would have made a big chunk today on this one. But 168 was the first hold support here. Right from the daily notes, it says very large pop yesterday right into the doji resistance, watching 168 support hold to ramp up to 172 again. Silence. Here's the 168. It held, squeezed right off, came back down. I longed to this one up here into this consolidation here, and then targeted just a small scalp, held through some of this pain, and then I stopped out down here. Now the second stop I was down here, I'll go over that one in a second, but as we pulled back into pre-market, I had to get out of this because I needed the buying power for different trades. The only reason I stopped out, the target was still 172. Here's 171.98. What was the high of this candle? Darn, I think I missed it. Yeah, 171.98. I missed it by 0.2. So my targets are that bad. 0.2 off. Sarcasm, but Beyond Meats ranging 168 to 172, coming all the way back down. This was the stop out that kind of made me sad. I had another blind dip like I did Shopify here at 166 about. And as it ranged into here, I bought a little earlier than it just kind of had that real big progression in seller beat. And I was like, maybe. And I just left it. And then I took it off. And then, of course, it ran. But a couple of you guys stayed in a little bit longer, targeted the 168 for your longs, and then, of course, squeezed past that. And then we just had another one at 168. So those levels worked out really well. The trade plan was there, just got stopped out early in that one. What can you do? And then we have, last one I want to go over is, we can go over Starbucks too, maybe. No, Shopify. We did. Yeah, last one, I think we did Starbucks. Starbucks coming into one of the major supports here called 94.30. So 94.30 major daily support hit yesterday. It could bounce here. Watching for 95.15 over that and under. Here's 95.15. Here's the major support for 94.30 calls. And this is, again, this is not some crystal ball or intraday scalping. This is all these plans are dedicated an hour before market opens. So here is your major resistance. Had a pop on that level, pulled back down. Perfect yesterday's lowest tag with major resistance. Had a nice coil, broke to the upside, over under at this level here. And then we had a nice snap over it. Couple different long positions there. Nice point and a quarter on Starbucks, but we're still this one's still on watch for pullbacks to go long on. So this one is still definitely in play in the books coming up. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. If you guys ever want to trade with us, the description link is below us, and you can come get these notes and the intraday calls and live trading every morning, Monday through Friday. We start at 7:30 a.m. Central. In a different chat for all the premiums, and we swap over to our own premium elites chat at 8 a.m. Central. If that interests you guys, link is in the bottom. Come trade with us. Have a good day.